There's a trick of shaitan that if you allow it into your life, basically shaitan can ruin everything. And if you're wondering how that is possible, imagine giving shaitan a keyboard and whatever he types on that keyboard comes out of your mouth. How much devastation would that cause? Right? He says one thing, you disrespect your mother, another thing, you ruin your marriage, another thing, and you've left Islam completely. Like the tongue has so much influence over who we are as people. Allah tells us and the Prophet tells us to rein it in multiple times in the Quran, right? لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت النبي. Don't raise your voice over the Prophet. That a good word is like a good tree, and a bad word is like a bad tree, meaning that their fruits spread far and wide. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بِئْسَ الْإِسْمُ الْفُسُوقِ بَعْدَ الْإِيمَانِ. What a terrible thing it is to utter a negative word after Iman has entered your hearts. And so over and over and over again, we learn that there is no virtue in this bluntness. And there's a lot of people who think that there is, right? That they say, I speak what I feel and I feel what I say. But the reality is that we're supposed to add filters between our thoughts and our speech, right? There needs to be doors in the middle. And a thought needs to cross these doors, and yet each door has to be filtered, right? Okay, only this many thoughts reach this, and this many thoughts reach this. So Imam Jalaluddin Rumi, he told us what these gates are supposed to be like and what this vetting process is supposed to be like. He says, between a thought and and something that you say, ask yourself 4 questions. Is it true, necessary, good, and kind? 4 questions. And for a lot of us, this would filter out literally most of what we say, right? And so I want to also provide a solution for people who are kind of more on the talkative side, because many people, they know that silence is a form of wisdom and that it conceals all of our faults, but because they love talking, like myself, it's hard for them to stop. And so the way to do that is not to actually stop talking, but to replace talking with something better. Take all of the dead time you have, all of the time that's empty, that you're not talking, you're not doing anything, and replace it with dhikr. As Allah says, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. When you do this, and when you implement this for a couple of days, you will realize that you will want to say something or interject into a conversation, but the consequence of that is that you will interrupt your dhikr. And there's a thought in your head that will start to develop. Is it worth interrupting my dhikr to do this speech? And more often than not, it is not going to be worth it. And so you're still talking, but you're now talking in a better way.